This is location 34, and it's on the seaside of a very, very large end moraine called the Pond Ridge Moraine. And the Pond Ridge Moraine runs east-west here for about 15 miles. It's a very large, prominent feature. It was one of the first features that was really identified in this region back in a survey done in 1935. It was so prominent. It's about 200 or 300 feet high in places and about 1,000 feet wide. And the significance of it is that there are exposures in it along this shore here in Cutler, and also at the Cutler Dump, which is location number 35 on the map. And inside the moraine, you can see that the morainal material, the boulders and sand and gravel, are interlayered with the marine mud. And the marine mud contains shells. And so there was the ice discharged material, then stopped for a while. The marine mud accumulated against the ridge, more material was deposited, and so the mud was interlaid, interwoven with the material coming off of the ice. And those shells date the moraine, and because the moraine sediments are interfingered with marine, here is the proof that the moraines were deposited along the ice margin into the ocean. The ocean didn't come up over them later and deposited mud, but it was actually, the margin was actually in the ocean. And this is the first place where we could really prove this. So it's a very significant end moraine. The shells date to 16,500 years ago, calendar years. The next big ridge up on the map at Pineo is 16,000 or 15,300 years, based on the same kind of geology. But this is called Pond Ridge, and as I said, it's a very prominent feature and a very important one. At the end of this one, to the right, you can't see it, is the Cutler Naval Radio Station. Has 600-foot towers and is designed to contact any submarine submerged or surfaced in the North Atlantic Ocean. It's a very, very large radio station. That's all one other thing. We haven't mentioned this, but along the coast here from Quoddy Head down, we're in a forest. You don't see it right here. We're in a forest that's called the boreal forest. And the boreal forest is composed of fir trees, spruce trees primarily, and birch trees. And it's a forest that's boreal, and that means northern. And it's a finger of this northern forest that comes down from Canada along this coast. And it's narrow, and by the time it gets down to Penobscot Bay, 50, 60 miles south of here, or southwest of here, it's gone. And the reason it's here at all is the cold Labrador current comes down from Canada and sweeps this part of the coast and keeps the temperature quite cold along this coast. And in fact, blueberries that are grown in this immediate area come to fruition as berries about 2 weeks after the inland harvest. It slows everything down. The water temperature is around 58 degrees Fahrenheit. It's quite cold, and this forest is very, very distinctive. If you drive now from Cutler, where we are now, into Machias, which isn't very far away, you pass through this forest and out the other side, and when you get into Cutler, it's no longer here. So it's a very important botanical feature that is caused by this cold Labrador current that keeps Washington County much cooler than the rest of the state.